my name is Kaitlyn Duchien.
Oh, hey.
I'm the social worker here at the hospital. Do you mind if I come into your room for a few minutes?
Please do.
Okay. Do you mind if I take a seat here by your bed?
Please do sit down.
Wow, this blanket seems really soft and cozy.
It is so cozy.
I know it can be kind of chilly in these hospital rooms sometimes, so
It is.
I'm always wearing sweaters
They
in
were
here.
so nice to me. They asked me if I needed anything else, and I asked for this, and they brought it to me. I didn't
Great.
think that they would do it, but they did.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're being taken care of here.
Yes.
That's
Yes, at
great.
least I have a cozy blanket.
Definitely. Well, like I said, my name is Kaitlyn Duchien. I'm the social worker here at the hospital. And I see your name is Vale. Is there anything else you would like me to
Oh,
address you by?
everybody calls me Vale. Yeah.
Vale, great. And before I start, can I adjust any of your pillows or get you anything?
I think I'm good. I think I've misplaced my water, but I'm sure they'll bring me some more later.
Okay. Well, definitely. I can make sure that somebody brings you a new glass later when I leave. Well, my purpose for being here today is just to talk to you a little bit about your Medicaid situation. I got an intake form from your doctor, and he let me know that you have a ruptured cervical disc injury that is in the healing process. But due to your Medicaid that is running out, you will be discharged on Friday. He let me know that you were fully capable of being discharged, that you are moving along smoothly in the recovery process, and you'll just need a little bit of some physical therapy and some home care to continue going on. However, I do want to speak with you about what the best option might be for you going forward. Also, I want to let you know that everything that we say today will be kept confidential unless you may be a threat to yourself or to someone else. Everything we talk about will be kept here in this room. Do you have any questions for me so far?
So far, no. My main concern here is just the Medicaid situation. You said that you've been filled in. To be honest, Kaitlyn, I'm not sure if I'm actually ready to be discharged or if I'm being discharged because my Medicaid is running out. I'm not sure how all of that works. My son's applied for me and I got it, and I'm thankful for it. They're all numbers to me, and I know that I'm a number here too, but I'm not a number to me. I do odd jobs here and there when I can. I don't have any sort of steady income. My son's helped me out so much already, and I can't have them pay for this as well. But I am afraid that I'm being discharged because my Medicaid is running out rather than I'm being discharged because I'm alright. And I want to know, number one, that this isn't going to come back. And that number two, I'll be able to afford my medication because I am in a lot of pain. And number three, that I won't come back and then not be able to, that I will come back and not be able to have services if the Medicaid is running out. I don't know exactly what you can do. I don't know if this is just a formality, to be honest. And I'm thankful that you're here, but also I understand that these big hospitals run on money and I don't have any.
Sure. Well, first, I want to justify your concerns. You've been through a lot to even get you here to the hospital, and staying in the hospital can often be stressful in and of itself. I also understand that healthcare and staying in the hospital can be very expensive and financially draining. And I recognize that that is a concern for you. My role here is to come alongside you, to work with you, to honestly find you the best benefits for you going forward, to ensure that you will be taken care of even after your discharge, that at home you will be receiving the best quality of services, just like you are here in the hospital, to recover fully and to recover quickly. You mentioned that your son helped you to apply for Medicaid initially. I am thankful to hear that you have that support at home to help you do that. I will also be able to help you apply for additional Medicaid benefits that you are eligible for. And through those, we'll ensure that you have the best quality of care going home. I've worked with a lot of patients in the hospital, several of whom have been in similar situations to yourself, and they have felt similarly, just felt like they weren't being seen as real people, as being truly valued. And I understand that when nurses and doctors are running in and out, that it can seem like you're just another number that they pass by. However, Vale, you're not a number to me. I really do care about your well-being, and my whole job here is to just be an advocate and a cheerleader for you, to make sure that that we're working together to get you the best care possible. Your role today is simply to be as open and honest with me as you can. I know that some of the topics we talk about today may be a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm able to help you even better with the more information I have about your situation. And I already appreciate how open and honest that you've been with me so far. Do you have any other questions for me so far?
You mentioned that there are other Medicaid options that I have. If my Medicaid is running out, would I still be eligible for that? Because that doesn't make sense to me why I couldn't stay here instead.
I know that is very confusing. The creators of Medicaid certainly didn't make it in a way that was easy to read and understand and comprehend. And Medicaid is different in every state, so that complicates things as well. So here in Indiana, the Medicaid that pays for hospital stay is separate from other Medicaid benefits that also are related to the healthcare field. So we do have some outside options that can help you with your at-home care that your Medicaid will pay for, that you are eligible for, and that we can apply for if you're interested in them. Tell me if that clears things up a little bit for you.
Yes. So there are what other options do I have then?
Well, I think one of the best options for you as you return home is something called the Visiting Nurse Program. This program, through your Medicaid, completely through your Medicaid, is a registered, licensed nurse, just like the nurses who have been taking care of you here at the hospital, who comes and visits you in the comfort of your home. They take vitals, they help you take your medication, they ensure that you're recovering in the stages that you should be at that point. And then they report your progress back to the doctors here at the hospital. So it's virtually like they're visiting you here in your hospital room, but it's, a little bit further drive for them. However, the quality and the comprehensiveness of care is equal to what you're already receiving here in the hospital.
All right. And how long would that last? Like, how does that... I'm afraid that, again, I'll face the problem with my Medicaid running out, and then they'll leave, and I'll be alone again in the same situation. So how long would I have with them?
Your concern about the Medicaid running out again is totally justified. I understand even the situation you're in it now is concerning, and it feels uncertain, and I want to make sure that you have a sense of certainty. So the benefit of these nurses is that they have the ability to be with you in your home as long as your recovery is. And so your doctor let me know that you should be expecting about a month to a month and a half of added recovery at home. And so on your application process, when we apply for the visiting nurse, we will document that you need to have care for a month and a half. The doctor will also put his notes on there, which are obviously the most authoritative, and you are qualified, completely qualified for this service. So you won't have to worry at all about these nurses leaving halfway through. It will be guaranteed that they will stay with you until you've made a complete recovery at home. Tell me if that seems to ease some of your fears.
It does. Now, I was supposed to be discharged on Friday. How long does this application process take? And also, if I don't get it, what else can I do?
Thankfully, the turnaround process is pretty quick. So it's Monday today. Usually the process takes about 2 to 3 days in total. So I'm visiting another client here in about 10 minutes when we're done with our meeting. However, I will go run into my office and grab some paperwork to begin filling out that application and come back in a couple hours and be able to start the application process with you tonight. So you should hear by Wednesday or Thursday for sure that is secured. And I am pretty confident with your qualifications and your injury and the recovery process that you will need, that you will be qualified and you will receive this benefit for sure. So if for whatever reason that wasn't an option, and even if it is an option for these nurses to visit your home, it's always best to have some natural support systems there to take care of you as well when the nurse isn't there. Tell me a little bit more about your home situation.
Well, I do live by myself, but my sons live here too. They live like 30 minutes down the road, so I know that they'll be coming and going as much as they can. I don't like being a burden on them, but I'm sure that they'll be in and out of the apartment some. So, other than that, I have friends from church and in the building. Mostly it's just myself, really.
You live alone. You have sons who drop in on you frequently, and you also have church friends and other friends that live in your same apartment building. Tell me a little bit about what your sons do for a living.
Well, they're both in finance. I think they said microfinance once. I'm not sure. They're good people. I think in short, they do small loans for people who don't have access to bigger loans from banks. I'm not sure which organization they work when they say they laugh at me so much. I'm so bad with names, but they do loans.
Sure. Well, the details aren't really important, but it does sound like you've raised some incredible young men, very intelligent.
They're also single, but
well, I will keep that in mind. I was just wondering what kind of flexibility they may have with their jobs to be able to maybe take a little bit of time off or simply coordinate their schedules to be able to trade off stopping in and making sure that you're taken care of, that laundry is done, that your house is cleaned, and just little things like that.
Well, they do work 9-to-5 jobs. Sometimes they work later. I'm sure that they would make time to come see me. So, and I live in a very small apartment, not much to clean.
Sure. So we've talked a little bit about your Medicaid situation. We mentioned the benefit of visiting nurses to be able to come into your home and care for you a little bit that way. We also talked about your sons as forms of support for you in your recovery process. Tell me a little bit more about your friends in the church or your friends that live in the building with you.
Well, they're all very nice people. We all get together and play cards every now and give my pastor a call and let him know that this is happening. I'm very blessed to be surrounded by very good people. So,
That's great. I'm glad to hear that you have good forms of support in your life, both for tangible needs and for emotional needs as well. Definitely, it would be great if you could give your pastor a call this week and just set up a time that this group can drop in and just ensure that you have different forms of care throughout your day in your recovery process at home, especially since you do live by yourself. Um, I do have another potential Medicaid benefit that could be beneficial for you. It's called Meals on Wheels. It's a service that provides hot, home-cooked meals delivered to your home, so you don't have to worry about cooking meals every day or having someone else bring food over. They're able to customize the food they bring a little bit to the tastes and preferences or dietary needs of each client. So if that's of interest to you, we can definitely apply for that benefit as well.
I will keep that in mind. I'm a little wary of my Medicaid running out all at once, so I will keep that in mind though. So thank you. I'll run that by my sons and have them crunch the numbers.
Sure. Well, and I do also want to assure you that your Medicaid for these different benefits is fully paid for. That they won't have a time limit or restriction. There are certain things that you qualify for immediately depending on your financial situation. And both of the visiting nurses and the Meals on Wheels are programs that you don't have it in a limited amount. They are completely taken care of already. So it's more of just are they services you would be interested in or not? So definitely take your time to think about those things. Of course, I'll be back tonight with the paperwork to begin for the visiting nurses application. But I'll also stop in the next few days just to check up on you and possibly discuss some of these options further. So we've talked about your Medicaid situation, and we talked a little bit about your home environment and some support systems like your sons and your group of friends that you can call on when you're in need. Tell me a little bit more about your feelings towards returning home.
Well, I'll be holding onto the railings a lot more now. It's just my little home to me. So I'm ready to go back and just be in my own bed. This is a nice blanket, but I have nice blankets at home too. So I feel good. I will definitely pace myself more. I don't even remember what I was doing, but so that says a lot about my day to day. But yeah, no, I'm ready to go home.
Sure.
I'm more ready. I was a little worried, but now I'm not so much.
Well, you're excited to return to the comfort and familiarity of your home environment. I work with a lot of patients in the hospital, and for whatever reason, it just is so much easier to recover at home where things are familiar and you have all of your preferences right there. So I'm very glad that you are optimistic about returning home. I'm glad that some of your worries and concerns are diminishing, and especially now that we're able to set you up with some benefits that should just create a smooth, worry-free transition process back home. So earlier you mentioned your friends in the apartment building. Tell me a little bit more about them.
Well, they're all women in similar situations as me. All grown kids. We've all spent most of our lives raising our children, so now we're just getting to know ourselves, which is nice to have people to do that with. So they're actually going to be here in a couple minutes after you leave. So
Oh,
yeah,
great.
so you might meet them when you come back with the papers. We'll see.
love to.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they are taking time out of their day to come visit you and
Oh,
spend some
it's
time with
poker
you.
night. They would not miss
Poker.
poker night. Yeah, they've been
Wow.
trying to swipe my watch for some time now, but
That is beautiful.
yeah, but they haven't been able to. So we'll see about that.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad you have that source of support. I hope that you're able to call on them once you return home for any immediate needs when you need someone right there. When they visit tonight, I'd encourage you to just let them know about your return home and coordinate maybe some set times with them that they could take turns just popping in on you throughout the day to make sure you're doing well. So we've talked about a lot today. We talked about your Medicaid, we talked about different support systems that you have, we talked about some options for you going forward, and a little bit about your feelings toward returning home. Tell me if you have any other questions or concerns for me today. We have just a couple minutes left of our time.
I think as far as concerns go, I am a little more at peace now. I'm sure once we start filling out the paperwork, I will have more questions. But knowing that I have the nursing program available is a huge help. So.
Well, Val, I'm very grateful to hear that you are a little bit more at ease now. I hope that will continue to be your feelings as we progress towards the end of the week and we prepare for your return home. Like I said, I'll be popping in your room throughout the week just to check in with you about the application process and make sure that everything is going smoothly. I did really enjoy spending time with you today and getting to know you a little bit. On my way out, I'll make sure that the nurses know to bring you another cup of water. And is there anything else I can do for you here before I go?
I think I'm all good.
Okay, great. Well, I do wish you luck in your poker game tonight.
Thank you, Kaitlyn.
I hope you keep your watch and maybe come away with something.
Oh, I'm looking at my friend's earrings tonight. So
Oh boy.
We'll see what we
Stakes
get.
are high.
Oh, very.
Well, like I said, I'll be back in just a couple hours with those application papers. Thank you again so much for
Thank you, Kaitlyn, for
letting me
coming
sit here, and I'll see you in just a few hours.
in a few hours.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
That was really good. I felt much better about that one.
Good.
So thanks for hanging in